Do you start it? Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, since the 1990s, there's been a revolution in the food market. We've all heard of organic food. It's like the new fad and the craze, and all these organic companies with Trader Joe's sponsoring have claimed it's more nutritious, it's more beneficial, and it's more it's environmentally friendly and safer than inorganic foods. Today I'm going to pretty much debunk all those beliefs. It is not in any way safer, healthier, or more environmentally friendly, and I'm going to first talk about how it is not as nutritious in any way than inorganic foods. First of all, let's talk about how the difference of organic and inorganic farming is. Pretty much the belief with organic foods is it's grown without any pesticides, any hormones, and the soil is organic soil, which means they don't put any chemical fertilizer in it. And the belief is, with this, it makes the organic products more nutritious because of the longer growing time and the less chemicals into the plant or the animal. However, this isn't true. In 2002, the University of California, Davis, the agricultural department, conducted a 10-year study, and they specifically looked at kiwi fruits. One of them grown organically and one grown inorganically. After the 10 years of studying, they concluded that there was no difference in the nutrition. When they analyzed it, even to the molecular level, they found no difference. The only difference that was found was based on the seasons of the year. There was absolutely no difference in the growing style had any effect on the fruits. Another study in a 2006 study by the Journal of Science of Food, Dr. Susan Bugle spent many years researching 5 crops. One of them was the wheat crop, and they grew it organically and inorganically, and they found again that there was no nutritional value of difference between the two. Inorganic food and organic food had the exact same nutritional values when broken down. There was no great significance except from year to year. This is one of the reasons why people think that organic food is better and more nutritious because it is using no chemicals. It's just completely false. It's smart advertising by the Trader Joe's and the organic companies that they sponsor, and it's just a gimmick. It's no proof. There's been no scientific proof in the past 10 years to prove otherwise. After research, there's been no nutritional value. When you even look on the bags or whatever, they don't have any difference. So that is one myth that has been debunked over the years, that it's not any better for you than inorganic food. The second myth is that the lack of chemicals and pesticides in organic food makes it healthier somehow. But the fact is, there once again is no proof of that. Research has proven that chemicals in inorganic foods has no proven harm to the consumer. The Mayo Clinic in the past few years has been monitoring chemicals in organic food and have concluded solidly by all their experts that there is no health risks in inorganic food contributed to pesticides and chemicals. It is such small trace that even ingested, it's literally broken down in the body. It's not like they spray down the lettuce and then put it right into the supermarket. It's been thoroughly washed. It's been washed at the farm. It's been washed once it hits the grocery. So there's only very, very small traces. And the theory that organic food has no trace of pesticides either is false. If you look at organic food and actually monitor it like the Environmental Protection Agency does and the FDA do, they've concluded numerous times that up to 95% of organic food has traces of some type of pesticide, some type of chemical, and it's there too. It's not like organic food is has no chemical. And that goes again to what classifies organic. Organic, according to the FDA and the EPA, the only standard that meets organic is there has to be no less than 5% trace of any chemical or pesticide. So that means there could be a chemical or pesticide in organic food, and for it to be labeled as organic. So it's not really 100% organic. It can be There could be chemical fertilizers, but it has to be under that 5% threshold that they monitor. So when they say that, oh, it's grown organically, you never really know if that they used a chemical or not. And if they did, there might be a small trace. So that was another myth after much research I found was debunked. Organic grown does not necessarily mean there is no chemical or pesticide in the food. The third thing that I do want to talk about is the environmental impacts that organic companies claim that is better. Organic companies for many years say that growing organically is more environmentally friendly than inorganic farming. And that's another thing that's just really good advertisement. They have really gone far in what they say, and they really try to persuade the public. And while some things that they do say are true, they haven't told the whole story. Yes, there are one or two crops, particularly bananas, that are environmentally friendly, but they don't mention the other crops that are not environmentally friendly. 5 crops in particular is milk, tomatoes, chicken, and the raising of cattle, which is beef, is actually been shown to use 80% more land and 80% more energy than inorganic farming. This leaves a higher carbon footprint. So when these companies say that organic farming is more environmentally friendly, they are true in 1 or 2 crops like bananas, but they don't mention that the major producers like milk and like beef and tomatoes and other fruits requires 80% more energy. So it's a misleading picture. So inorganic farming uses a lot less energy when it comes to these crops. And the study that looked into that was England's agricultural department. They looked at the past 5 to 6 years with these crops, how much land was being used, how much energy was being used by these 2 farming methods, and they concluded that organic farming in some cases uses less energy, but in a lot of other cases they can use up to 80% more energy, which is a really big carbon footprint and a misleading picture. So pretty much I discussed 3 pretty much the arguments that the organic companies have used to defend their product as healthier, more nutritious, more environmentally friendly, and they use these arguments to increase the cost and have a higher premium when you buy the food. But it's simply just a really good advertising gimmick. These foods are not any more nutritious by the 2 studies that I've listed. It is not more environmentally friendly. After a study concluded by England's agricultural department, and it does not contain no chemical or pesticide. So when you do go to the supermarket and you are looking at organic food, it's not necessarily any better for you, and you might as well save yourself the money and just buy an organic food. Thank you.
All right, Alexis, what did you think?
I thought your topic was really interesting, and you had really good eye contact, and it was good how you didn't even look at your note cards. You made it look like once, and it was really good, like that you memorized it and stuff. It was really interesting, and I thought you did good. I thought your transitions were well, and it sounded good. Good job.
All right, Tim, I thought you did a nice job. You had a solid opening. Your goals clearly stated. There's a good preview. Internally, you're labeling all of your points pretty effectively. It sounds to me like when you're presenting the evidence that you're often giving us the conclusion, or you're paraphrasing the conclusions of the research, and I think it would be stronger and enhance your credibility if you had direct quotes on those things. Because the point that you're making sounds good, but I'll tell you what, it sounds really repetitive when you say, and there's no evidence, and there's no evidence, and there's no evidence, and you've got a phrase like that that keeps coming back like that when if you've got the quote and it says, we failed to find any evidence in this particular case, or this one study reports that there is no evidence that indicates this, or this study found that they are substantially the same, something like that, then you're a little bit less repetitive on the language. I got to stop this for just